To his left, gets the step, bouncing shot on the run. Marsden leaves it up in the air, and Kimball's going to follow his own miss. Clear, they'll use the middle of the field. Tucker McCann splits defenders. McCann avoids a third, fires a shot, and scores. His left, looking for a lane. Now will fire. Bouncer that goes 5-hole. 4 minutes back in that first quarter. Good turn. There's the pass and score. Behind, and we're going to drive. Looks for the pick. Comes middle, using that big body to his advantage. White lowers the shoulder. Bouncing shot. Score.
Start hitting that too. I mean,
here's
there
one.
we go.
Zalkowski.
Oh, nice blast. Yeah, tough road here.
Kimball. How about 6? In the Queen City as Derryfield plays host to Wyndham. Shot and score. Tucker McCann has got a hat trick of his own. 17-6 is going to be the final. All right, here we go. Derryfield in white going to win the opening faceoff. While Ryan wants one of his own, he's going to fire and score and tie the game. Good job by the defender. Fowler staying with him, but it doesn't matter. Pass near side. Derryfield with numbers. It's a 4-on-3.
What a nice play.
Beautiful. It's Flint. Put him out to his left. Conley. Conley one time for Ryan. Ryan lets it rip and scores. Meanwhile, Tate Flint, the former Trinity Pioneer, finds a cutter. The bouncer is good for Murray. Both teams have handled it well. Good take. Bouncer is true. It's Blake Bazin.
Play. He just plucked the corner like it was practice.
Murray finds the cutter, who finds the back of the net. Looks across, has a man, shot, and score for R.J. Brew. Derryfield, a strong performance on their home field. They get it done by a final score of 13-5. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. It's FNL Lacrosse presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We're live here at the Beals Insurance Studios. You just saw a nice mashup put together by our producer, Ben Beals, of the week that was here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. You saw Wyndham and Timberlane in the rain back on Tuesday. Owls a little short-handed. Warriors continue to roll. 17-6 was the final. On Friday, we were in Manchester. Derryfield looked good on their home field as they beat Wyndham, handing the Jaguars their first loss by a final score of 13-5. That was the week that was. We're here, though, to talk about the week ahead, Coach, and we've got quite the lineup for you. Exeter and BG meet on Tuesday. We're going to talk to first-year Blue Hawk head coach Matt Brewster coming up in just a few minutes at 9:15 Eastern. You saw him in the highlight video. Alex Ryan, senior from Wyndham. Jaguars right back at it this coming week with a big game against St. Thomas. He is our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week on the boys' side, and he joins us at 9:30. Scott Singer, new head coach at St. Thomas on the boys' side. He's on the program for the first time at 9:45. And then in hour two, we switch gears a bit. We talk Portsmouth girls lacrosse with head coach JoJo Curro. They are on the road in a huge cross-divisional matchup coming up on Wednesday at Bedford. Coach and I will be in the booth for the live broadcast there. Julian Bell will look to lead the Bulldogs in that game. She is our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week on the girls' side, and she joins the program at 10:15. Then, of course, a lot to get to on the NCAA front at 10:30. So Coach Brewster, Alex Ryan, Coach Singer, Coach Curro, Julian Bell in that order, Coach, and that should set the table appropriately for another big week here coming up, week number 4 statewide.
Yeah, there's some great games ahead. You're seeing, being involved in NHIA basketball the last few years, it amazed me how week to week anybody could beat anybody.
Lot of parity
in
over the winter.
You're seeing that in boys Division II. You're seeing Timberlane beat Derryfield, Derryfield beat Wyndham, and then Winnicott, who Derryfield beat hammered Timberlane. I know Timberlane was a little bit. It sounds like you're saying they were missing out some players, but that's great. That's great for lacrosse when you have the depth like that in Division II.
I mean, Winnicott played well, not to take anything against the Warriors. They looked head and shoulders legit for 4 quarters, and the final score reflects that.
They looked athletic. When I watched the game on the FNL broadcast, a big difference when I went to the Derry Field. I was on site in the Cougar, what they called the Cougar Bowl, and Derry Field was just kind of, you could see they were better. They were just better. In Division I, it's kind of as expected, where you were going to have where BG, we lost yesterday. We got beat up by Staples yesterday, 17-9 or 7-7, and Exeter beat Acton Boxborough. And Acton Boxborough is a top 5 team in Massachusetts. They beat Duxbury. So Exeter, Pinkerton and BG are the top 3, but I don't think anyone expected Exeter to be as good as they are. Heading in, to the game on Tuesday, when you lose that state championship, that's kind of fuel for the fire, and that's a revenge game for them. So they're when the Hampshire High School Sports poll comes out, they're going to be the new number 1, deservingly so. Exeter when you have wins like that. And then you have Pinkerton. They've had some injuries. They've getting some players back, but they had a good win over Andover. Lost at
Longmeadow.
Lost to Longmeadow. Lost to Hingham yesterday. Division II we covered. Division III, it's great. I mean, kind of like as we saw it, Campbell seems to be the top team in that division, but they have games coming up with Hopkinton and which will be interesting. Plymouth, Trinity.
I think that Hopkinton game's Friday, right?
I think it is. Yeah, those are good games. On the girls' side, Division I, as expected, Bedford and BG are the class of that division right now. But some good, pleasant surprises, though, you're seeing from Exeter and South. Nashua South gave Sohegan a game yesterday, and Exeter with the new coach Taylor this year, they're doing great. Casey Moore, Erin McElroy, Emma LaPilla, they're not deep, but they have some stars, and that's good to see for that division. If any of those teams could kind of push Bedford.
Seems like Nashua South is elevating their program on both sides, right, boys and girls?
They are. A little concerning on the boys' side, though, where the numbers are, like, they're projecting like numbers are going to be way down for next year, which is weird. It kind of comes and goes, but they are a solid team. They have the Johnson boys, Nate Campbell, Connor O'Sell. They have a lot of like high-end talent, but they drop off. So that's why, they lose a game to Londonderry by a goal. So Londonderry is kind of up and down. Londonderry took Pinkerton, Londonderry's played a lot of 1-goal games. South 1-goal game, Cape Elizabeth 1-goal game. So they're there. On Division II, when we had the opening show, it was Portsmouth and everybody else, and we talked about everyone else being Wyndham, being Hollis Brookline, and Portsmouth they had 2 competitive games, this week. I think it was 11-9 versus Hollis Brookline, and Hanover gave them a competitive game. It's good to see Hanover back. Hanover in the 2012 through 16 range, they were like a top team in Division I. So it's good to see them back. And Division III girls, as expected, it's Hopkinton and Bow are the class of the act. But there is some parity, so it's good for Portsmouth to be pushed a little bit. And it'll be interesting what Coach Curl thinks about how does she treat a game like she challenged herself to play Bedford, to play Pinkerton, like how we treat our out-of-state games. We treat that as like a separate entity, and that's how we. So I'd imagine for her and those girls, that's a big game because they would be in the top 3 in Division I.
I remember you said that at the opening show, and that's why we're looking forward to Wednesday's meeting. The coach has agreed to come on here at 10 o'clock, as you mentioned. We've got some questions lined up for her, Coach Curro. And Julian Bell will be on the Bedford side in that same game. We spoke with her last season for a bit, and we'll speak with her again coming up at 10:15. But, Coach, I want to put the spotlight back on you guys for a moment. BG Exeter coming up on Tuesday. That's right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. We'll be live for that 4 o'clock start. As you mentioned, Exeter, we thought they'd be good, and as you said a moment ago, maybe not this good. Given the fact that they had so many talented seniors a year ago on that team that made a championship push, they lost a lot to graduation. I know everybody does, but it seems like the pipeline is in place, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Coach Hawley was there for over 20 years. He left Coach Brewster in a pretty good spot from a program perspective, and Coach Brewster, to his credit, has kind of taken the ball and run with it here early in the season.
He has, because he didn't know how that would go when you lose 17 players.
Right.
I mean, 17 talented players, but when you have, an Aiden Drunzik, Matt Denman, Adam Neal, and then the two talented goalies in Burnage and Tatman. So they had the core, but he's pulled them together, and they have big wins over Pinkerton and over Acton Boxborough. So they have it going. So it's not going to be an easy route for us to get our ultimate goal, the state championship, because they're legit, and it seems like we always go to Exeter to play, so we're excited to have them come to Stella Stadium.
I remember you said that as well. Yeah, this game is in Nashua.
Yep. It's in Nashua, FNL broadcast, which always puts a little juice into the kids. They get a little fired up when they know that it's going to be on FNL. So yeah, we had yesterday we got beat up. We got exposed in some areas that we've been telling the kids we need to get better at, and they don't always hear that. And
that was, of course, against Staples down
Staples
in
Bryant. Yeah,
right?
It was just a great. We had Lax.com covering the event with they do a great job with footage and drones, and the scene at Bryant was great. We have a bunch of New Hampshire players. We have Spencer Clark, Mason Drew, and Nate LaLiberty went 15 of 16 in the faceoffs. So this is the Bryant men's team played right before our game. So it was good. Ben Abladian had 5 goals. So it was good. We followed in right after them, and we were ready to play. I mean, it was an 8-6 game at the half. So we were in the game, but we're so used to JJ over the last 2 years going 90% at the faceoff X, and when your faceoff guy all of a sudden goes 50%,
right,
you're not used to that. And we were giving up high percentage shots. From like 6 yards and in, 8 yards and in, where we were not getting the same quality shots, and then they just put a 7-0 run on us in the third quarter, and we just had no answer for that. So,
does this loss humble the guys a little bit? Is there a silver lining somewhere in catching a defeat here and getting rid of all that undefeated nonsense?
Absolutely,
yep.
Absolutely. We undefeated. It was great. 18. We went 6-0 out of state, which was great. And then last year we were undefeated the whole year, but it was a little bit of a I don't want to call it flawed, but we just didn't have the out of state games to really challenge.
An abbreviated schedule.
Yeah. So this game, it was disappointing from the standpoint we did not play to our level, our level, and the kids weren't nervous. I mean, 16 out of our 20 guys are either juniors or sophomores. So, and they're in their second year of varsity only. So this was a senior-heavy Staples team, but we weren't. It wasn't nerves by no means. We came out ready to play, and the kids were loose. That we just weren't as good as Staples. So there's some things that we need to tighten up, and it'll definitely make us better. We can't let this game beat us twice. You got to get over that embarrassment, the disappointment, and turn your attention. It's great because
that was my next question. Is you've got such a short turnaround here before Exeter? What, 2 or 3 days here?
We gave them off today. We practice tomorrow to get ready for Exeter, and then we have BC High, which is
that's right,
which is a
Another
great
big week.
Which is a great week. So, but we're just focused on Exeter right now.
Speaking of Exeter, Matt Brewster in the warm-up circle, first-year head coach, joins us next. You are watching FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
We could have a new screen on that baby in less than 15 minutes. I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and convenient device repair shop. We use quality parts, backed by our lifetime warranty.
Can you fix my phone?
iPhones, iPads, even Androids and tablets. We fix it all!
What kind of problems can you fix?
Battery problems, screen problems, water damage. Don't live with that broken device any longer. Come on into New Hampshire iPhone Repair, and we'll have you fixed up in 15 minutes. Good as new.
Yeah!
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Back here at the Beals Insurance Studios in Bedford, Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. It's FNL Lacrosse presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We're live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Alex Ryan is our Player of the Week from Wyndham. He's coming up at 9:30. Scott Singer, first-year head coach with St. Thomas on the boys' side, joins us at 9:45. We talk girls at 10 with JoJo Curro of Portsmouth. She's got them unbeaten early. And Julian Bell is our Tomahawks Player of the Week on the girls' side. The Bedford senior will join us at 10:15. But let's bring him in right now. Guest number one, Matt Brewster, in year number one as head coach of the Exeter Blue Hawks. He joins us. Coach, good morning. Welcome inside the show. How are you?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks for coming on. You've got to be pleasantly surprised, I'd imagine, on just how well your club has played through the first 3 weeks of the season. Is this a pleasant surprise, or have they met your expectations more or less to this point of the year?
It's a little bit of both. I think Exeter's been one of those teams that's been in the top for a very long time, and, they have really good history. And from the top down, I think they're expected to do well. And I'm fortunate enough that I got a good group of guys that bought right in. It's been going well.
Yeah. Well, you lost a lot, but you bring back a lot, including the core of the team, as Coach Cameron talked about. Did you lean a little bit more on those veterans during this offseason process? You were kind of a late hire to begin with in terms of getting to know the guys. Did you rely on them to do a little bit more in terms of making it easier for you in year number one to hit the ground running?
For sure. I mean, like guys in the senior class, like Aiden Dronzik, Matt Denman, Adam Neal, Roger Smythe, like those are guys that really, they stepped up, and they have been. But it's been going really good. And it's fortunate to be in in a program and with people like Bill Ball and everything like that. It's been awesome.
Speaking of the program, of course, Jerry Hawley was there for over 20 years before you took over. After, of course, he stepped down last summer. Has he been around at all, available for you to kind of run some things over, or has he been kind of more or less standoffish and enjoying the retirement at this point? I mean, how active is he still in terms of checking in with you and your communication, I guess, with the former head coach?
Yeah, Jerry's been awesome. I've been, I chat with him here and there. He's always wanted to know how he did, how the scores are doing, how the boys are doing. So as much as I'm sure he's enjoying his retirement, he loves, you can tell he loves lacrosse, and he loves the kids. And his interest is still very much there.
Coach?
Coach, thanks for coming on. Congratulations. That's a huge win yesterday for your program and for New Hampshire Lacrosse. Followed a little bit on Twitter on my way back. So you were a great player at Franklin Pierce, and Coach Senator's claiming you part of his coaching tree. Do you bring any part of his style with you to Exeter?
Yeah, definitely. I think, that grit. Senator's got that grit and grind. And I think that's how Exeter and stuff that we have to play. Acton Boxbar was a perfect example of that. We matched up with them pretty far skill-wise, but, they were going to make us earn it. And the boys had to go out and grind, and they had to go, win ground balls and fight for it. And they did.
Yeah. How big is that early to beat not just an out-of-state team, but an out-of-state team that's perhaps one of the best in Massachusetts? How much confidence does that inject into the club?
I think it helps with their confidence for sure. But I think, from the top down, we're realizing that we're just getting a little bit better every single time we play. and we're starting to minimize flaws here and there, and that's going to be part of the game. So it's figuring out how do we minimize that and how do we deal with that adversity. But we're getting better every time we can get on the field. I feel that we're getting a little bit better every single time. That's all you can hope for, right?
Now, you got BG coming up on Tuesday. That's a road game. We'll have the live coverage for you coming up on Tuesday for 4 o'clock. Is this a game you circled as soon as you took the job, or is this just next man up or next game up on the schedule?
At this point, it's just next man up. I know they had a good run last year, both teams. Obviously, Girton being a high level team, being very high level coached program. They're going to be a very good team. That's what everyone knows. Everyone expects that. And for us, like I said, we want to continue to do our game plan. Going into each game, our game plan is going to be the same. And if we do that to the best of our ability, it should be a fun game.
You got two talented goaltenders, Coach. Final question before I let you go, in both Burnich and Tapman. I guess two-part question. One, which one do we see on Tuesday? And two, how do you determine the playing time when you have two talented guys like that in net?
Right now I've just been alternating them. We're getting down to it. But right now they're both unbelievable goalies. And when they're both on, they're both very much on. So right now we're still deciding. We have practice tomorrow, and we'll go forward from there with who we're going to go with on Tuesday.
It's a good problem to have, right, Coach?
It's a great problem to have. I'm very lucky. There's some schools that don't have any, and I have two that are very, very high quality goalies.
All right, Coach. We appreciate it. We'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks for coming on, and good luck. And thanks again for joining us.
Appreciate it. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, Matt Brewster, first-year head coach with the Exeter Blue Hawks, former Franklin Pierce player, and apparently a member of the Coach Rick Senator coaching tree, Coach.
Yes, and he hit the word right away, grit. I mean, that's what, every team has to find their niche, and that's what Coach Senator, just toughness and grit, and that's what they bring it, in Franklin Pierce, because they don't get the top.
How's he doing anyway, by the way? Is he driving himself crazy now in retirement here for the first time?
I think he catches more games now than because he's when you coach for that long, you can't really do much else. But what's interesting, we talked a little bit before we went on air how you did the Southern New Hampshire, St. Anselm beat Southern New Hampshire. A lot of these teams, their seasons are ending. It's not even May. I mean, like college seasons are done. Like today, North Carolina, Syracuse's seasons are over on May 1st, and Southern New Hampshire.
Would you we don't want to get too. We can save that talk for later. But is there maybe a more ideal time to play the season at the NCAA level? Does it start too early and end too early? Is that legit or?
I mean, with college
graduation,
college baseball goes into June.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think they could certainly do away with. They would have to do away with that Memorial Day weekend model and push it back into June, and maybe not start. Some of these games that they play in early February are crazy. Right. I mean, it's tough, especially for schools up here in New England. But Coach is doing good. He's still involved in the game. He watches all the FNL broadcasts, and so. He's ready to. If Roger ever can't make it, he's ready to fill in.
Love to talk to Coach again at some point.
He's ready to fill in. But yeah, Exeter. Coach Brewster has them. They're
flying high right now.
Yeah, they are,
no question. As you mentioned,
good for New Hampshire lacrosse.
Absolutely.
We need some parity.
Absolutely. And that game again against Bishop Girton coming up Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Part of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week schedule. All right, we've got Alex Ryan. Coming up next, the Wyndham senior took the team on his back early on, brought them to 6-0 before catching their first loss back on Friday. Another big week coming up against the Jaguars. We'll talk to the Bryant commit, or Bentley, excuse me.
Bentley
He's
commit,
going
yes,
to Bentley.
Yes.
We'll talk to him about that as well. You're watching FNL Lacrosse. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, summer and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
You know, we could have a new screen on that baby in less than 15 minutes. I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and convenient device repair shop. We use quality parts,
backed by our lifetime warranty.
Can you fix my phone?
iPhones, iPads, even Androids and tablets.
We fix it all!
What kind of problems can you fix?
Battery problems, screen problems, water damage. Don't live with that broken device any longer. Come on into New Hampshire iPhone Repair and we'll have you fixed up in 15 minutes. Good as new.
Yeah!
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Well, it's FNL Lacrosse presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We're live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. all throughout lacrosse season. Nick Anastas with Coach Chris Cameron. We've got a big week coming up. Exeter at BG on Tuesday. Portsmouth at Bedford on the girls' side on Wednesday. That's a big cross-divisional showdown. And then St. Thomas in Wyndham on the boys' side in Division II coming up on Friday. We just spoke with Matt Brewster, first-year Exeter head coach. We got Scott Singer of St. Thomas coming up, JoJo Curro of Portsmouth at 10, Julian Bell, senior at Bedford, coming up at 10:15. All right, let's bring him in. Alex Ryan of Wyndham, the senior, is our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week. There he is. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Your team off to a very good start. You win the first 6 in front of you, start 6-0. A little bit of a hiccup back on Friday on the road against Derryfield. Always a tough place to play, but I'd imagine you didn't let that bother you too much, given the fact that you're 6-1. Your team's right in the hunt and amongst the best in Division II. Is this the dream start that you could ask for? Is this the best start you could have asked for here early in your season, senior year season?
Yeah, well, I kind of knew it was going to come eventually. We played not really the toughest schedule coming into this 4-game stretch that we have. So I know eventually that we were going to get maybe exposed a little bit on defense and offense. And, it's a really well-coached team. So I kind of knew that, not crediting that we got those really good wins against Hollis, some big wins against Alvern. So I'm proud of the guys that we came out, we went 6-0, and then, there's going to be some hiccups in the middle of the season, but I'm still proud of what we did for those first games.
Well, as you said, you can only play who's in front of you. You beat them convincingly, all pretty much by double digits, with the exception of D1 Salem, where you still handed them a lopsided 13-5 win. But you said it, maybe the meat of the schedule coming up here this week. You're on the road at Winnicott, St. Thomas, as you mentioned. I guess that's Friday, St. Thomas. Then you've got Winnicott, Portsmouth, Hanover, etc. You do have some time, I guess, to get ready for this game, really all week to prepare. Is this the week, you think, here to maybe ensure which direction your team goes the rest of the way? Is this kind of the meat of the schedule, so to speak?
I definitely think it is. And, going into the season, we saw these games, and we definitely knew that this was going to be the meat of the schedule. But we don't have practice tomorrow, so we're going to just sit down, break down some of that film, which we don't do a lot. So I think we'll be able to pick up on a lot of the things we got exposed on. And then I think offensively, there's going to be some good defenses out there. I know Portsmouth's really good defensively. I know Winnicott's really good defensively. So they could have had, I think Winnacunnet could have had a lot of the guys for Defensive Player of the Year. I know last year they played us really well. So, and then I know St. Thomas, they've been playing really well. They beat Hollis 16-0, and that's after a game that we thought we beat Hollis a lot by. So, just look at the scores. I don't think any of these teams are teams that we can take for granted. And we're really going to have to step it up this week in practice and really move forward, because it's going to be tough, playing St. Thomas, and then say you lose the game, you got to go play another game against another tough team. So I think any of those 4 teams that we're going to play could be top 4.
Sounds like you know the landscape. How closely do you guys follow other teams and what's going in the division? Is that something that you check in on daily, weekly, or is it something that maybe you're not as focused on and just looking to get better internally? I mean, how active are you in terms of following the other teams?
Well, I know our coaches don't really want us to be looking at scores and where we rank and stuff, but I know guys on our team are always checking that stuff, checking the New Hampshire sports page, seeing who's winning, seeing who's losing. And it's weird that in D2, a lot of the teams that you think are going to beat other teams are coming out Derryfield beats Winnacunnet, and then Winnacunnet beats Timberlane, but Timberlane comes back and beats Derryfield. So it's really weird. You don't know where you're going to get the next week, which I think makes it so interesting, this division.
Alex, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So, great win for Bentley yesterday. So Bentley beats Pace, and now they travel to Adelphi in those NE10 semifinals. So have you had a chance to see any down to Waltham to see Bentley play?
Yeah, I went to that SNU game. It was a really good game. I was there with the Skoltons, and those are some people that really helped me, decide that I wanted to go to Bentley. But I got to go to that game. I got to go to the Franklin Pierce game. They really put it on that game. And then, I couldn't go to the Pace game, but I saw that they won, so that's good.
Yeah. So take us through, because we have a lot of younger players that are looking to play in college. So you committed to Bentley, and you had lots of D1 options on the table, but you really focused on the academic piece that Bentley had to offer, along with a high-level lacrosse program. So just take us through your thought process during the whole recruiting process.
Okay, well, since freshman year, I went to BG, and they really put a foundation in academics, and I carried that through the rest of my high school career, and I think that allowed me to see really what I wanted for my future. So when I was looking at colleges sophomore to junior year, I really wanted to go to some of like the higher academic schools, and I knew Bentley was close to home. So for me, that I was talking to some other schools that were in some kind of southern states, but I wasn't really, intrigued by, going too far away from home. So I was able to talk to Coach Murphy and some of the schools around here like Babson, and I guess the business side in the Northeast is just, you can't really beat it. So that's kind of what keyed me in on coming and staying close to home.
Yeah, so the Coach Murphy is very excited. They're lucky to have you there, because I didn't get a chance to see the Derryfield game yet, but the clips that our producer Ben Beals put on showed you popping in 3 goals right, off the start. It looked like 1, 2, 3. Are you playing attack this year?
Yeah, I am. I kind of been doing kind of what Sean did. I've just been running kind of up top,
Gotcha.
kind of sweeping over the top, because I know I'm going to really usually get the pole, so I might as well just stay down there for like transition and that type of sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a hybrid player where he could play attack or midi, and no matter what, you can't hide him. The pole's going to find him no matter what. So that makes a lot of sense. So during the COVID shutdown, we had a the game show that Brian ran, and you had a great Coach Moyer line. So Alex played for years for Coach Moyer. So you were really talented with your impression. Can you give it to us right now?
What did I say?
It was about elite. It was about looking elite.
You gotta look elite. Look elite out here. Look elite.
That's very good.
Oh, we miss Russ Moyer for sure.
Yes, we do.
Former co-host of this show.
I drive all the way to Delaware to lose.
Alex, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What are some of the activities? Obviously, you're an excellent lacrosse player looking to study business at Bentley, but what does the downtime consist of? What are some of the the off-field activities you're into?
So I don't know if you know, but I play a lot of golf. And over the fall, me and then some of the other lacrosse players actually played on the golf team, and we came in second in D2, second to Oyster River. So, I play a lot of golf. Ever since I was young, I played golf. And then I just honestly just hang out around with my friends. And senior year has been nice. I've been able to relax. And just this past break, I didn't go anywhere. So it's been really nice to just have some downtime and chill.
Right. Enjoy your senior year, my friend. You only get one of them. So enjoy it. And good luck this week as well, as we'll see you on Friday when you take on St. Thomas at 4 o'clock. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Alex. Good luck.
And again, Alex Ryan, Wyndham Sr. on his way to Bentley, and maybe an inspiring impressionist. That was pretty good there with Russ Moya.
Yeah, we only did it like we had this I don't know if it was like a scavenger hunt type thing that we did just to keep the kids engaged during the COVID shutdown, and it was really funny just listening to it over the it was IG Live, Instagram Live, I think was the format, and even better in person. He's a very, very smart kid. Great parents, very supportive, and he's talented. I mean, before he mentioned that he was at freshman year, he was at BG, and he played. So that would have been 19. Yeah, he played for us.
I didn't realize that.
On our second midi line as a freshman.
As a Cardinal.
As a freshman, yes.
Okay.
So before the game yesterday, Coach Soames said to me, he goes, "Oh, it would be nice to have A. Ryan today." I go, "Yeah, it would, but he's playing somewhere else. As you said, you can only play who's on your schedule, and you can only play who's on your roster." Right. So
exactly.
We certainly miss him, but he's one of those players I think is going to be able to like he used to not love contact at an early age, but he got bigger, stronger, got tougher.
He was lowering that shoulder on Friday.
Oh yeah, he plays tough and he's skilled. He's going to get on the field right away for Bentley. I mean, he's got that kind of ability. So lefty, righty, complete game, great kid. Happy for him.
Yeah, Falcons getting a heck of a player and a good young man as for sure. Bentley, as you mentioned, they're on their way to the semifinals. We'll preview the NCAA talk in the second hour of the show, on their way to the NE10 finals, where they'll take on Adelphi. St. A's on the other side, punch their ticket to the semis, and we'll take on Lemoyne. Again, NCAA talk coming up in the second hour. On the other side of the break, Scott Singer. He's got the unenviable job of trying to find a way to slow down Alex Ryan as the Saints look to take on the Jaguars coming up on Friday. There it is. We'll be there for that 4 o'clock Eastern time start. One of 3 broadcasts this week. Exeter BG on the boys' side, 4 o'clock Tuesday. Girls, Portsmouth at Bedford on Wednesday night at 6. And then to round out the week, St. Thomas at Wyndham. All right, we'll take a break. Scott Singer coming up next. You're watching FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
You know, we could have a new screen on that baby in less than 15 minutes. I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and convenient device repair shop. We use quality parts.
Backed by our lifetime warranty.
Can you fix my phone?
iPhones, iPads, even Androids and tablets.
We fix it all.
What kind of problems can you fix?
Battery problems, screen problems, water damage. Don't live with that broken device any longer. Come on into New Hampshire iPhone Repair and we'll have you fixed up in 15 minutes. Good as new.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Back here in the Beals Insurance Studios in Bedford, Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. FNL Lacrosse can be heard every morning, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Talking girls in hour 2 with Portsmouth head coach JoJo Curro. Julian Bell is our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week on the girls' side. She joins us at 10:15. We stick with boys for now, though. We bring in first-year head coach Scott Singer of St. Thomas. There he is. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're good. How's year 1 going, Coach? It looks like a 3-3 record out of the gate. You've challenged your team against Division I Exeter. You hung around with Portsmouth before dropping 12-7, and you beat Hollis Brookline and Kingswood convincingly 16-1 and 16-0. This, of course, all after an opening day win against Oyster River of 9-4 and a close loss against Winnicott at 6-5. Kind of a mixed bag at this point. How do you assess your team through 6 games?
I think overall we're just trying to get better every single day. I think you look at our results and it's a little bit inconsistent, and I think that's indicative of the play that we've put on the field. It's been a little inconsistent. We've talked a lot to our guys that, we feel we're good enough to compete with anybody, but we're also, bad enough to lose to anybody at any point. So we're trying to focus on, getting our systems down, getting to know one another, put it all together and find some consistency in our game. To the kids' credit, everything we're doing is brand new. We have a completely new staff, and we've challenged the guys with, every system, our terminology, our language, everything is brand new. So there's been a big learning curve, as the coaches get to know the kids get to know us. So I think we're slowly just trying to put that all together. I do think we're getting better every single day, which is what we're looking for, and hopefully at some point soon we'll really put it all together.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good group of kids to work with, and it also looks like you were able to challenge your group early on with the big names on the schedule, as we mentioned. Has the process gone as smoothly from your end as you thought here, given that it's the first year, given that everything's new, as you just highlighted? How do you grade yourself here through 6 weeks? 6 games.
Yeah, I think our guys, we really knew nothing about our guys. We didn't have any off-season training like I know a lot of the other programs do. 98% of our team is on the hockey team. And those guys went undefeated this year. They won the state championship for hockey. So we did not have access to our guys to really start to build any of that rapport as they were making a run for the state championship on their end. And, so I think there's been a little bit of, that early season trying to figure each other out and what our strengths and weaknesses are. And, from a coaching staff, trying to, adopt systems that really work well with our kids, as opposed to, me coming in with here's the offense that I want to run, or, here's how I want to clear the ball. There's been that getting to know each other phase where we're, what's our skill set and how do we adapt some systems to the guys that we have to put them in successful positions. So, I think as a staff, that's really been our big part. We actually switched a few things up after a couple weeks once we really felt we had, a good grasp on the boys. But the kids have been great. I mean, you've got to give them all the credit. They've really bought into what we're trying to do and what we're preaching. It's been a great group so far, and I think we're off to a strong start. And we're just, we're just trying to get better every single day. The kids are working really hard. It's a very dedicated group that we feel is really bought in.
Yeah. We spoke with another first-year head coach, Matt Brewster, earlier in the show, and he told us there were some of the leaders, some of the seniors on the team, some of the players that helped that transition a little bit in the case of Exeter. Are there certain guys on the roster that you may lean on a little bit more than others during especially this key part early in the season in year number one for you?
Yeah, we're not as senior heavy as Exeter is. They've got some fantastic leaders. Obviously, we played them a week ago, and they've got some tremendous leadership on the field. We have, one senior captain in Marcus Broom, and he's been phenomenal. He's really been my go-to guy as far as, preseason communications concerned, leadership to the other guys, just getting messages across. And then we have two junior captains in Max Murray and Anthony DiMartino. So, we're not super senior driven, but we're getting a lot of leadership out of that junior class as well. We did a captain, a team voting on captains about 2 weeks into our preseason. And those guys were the heavy favorites on the votes from their peers. And they've done a fantastic job. So, to their credit, they've been really bought in. We're getting good leadership out of them, but I think, really we've gotten a lot out of guys that we didn't really expect. We're getting a lot out of guys that, lacrosse might be their second or third sport, that are really finding a niche for this game. We've got a long stick midfielder in Britton Dunbar that was the goalie of our hockey team. And, again, they won the state championship. He helped, lead them in net, and he's one of our best players. He's been consistent. He's bought in. He's a kid that, if he were to really continue with lacrosse, he could play college lacrosse if he wanted to. So I think we're getting contributions in leadership from guys all over the place.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for coming on. So what's the biggest adjustment for you coming from, you were it was ISL, right? Where you coached?
Yeah, I was the head coach of the Roxbury Latin
for the past
3 years. Yeah.
So what's like the biggest adjustment coming from like ISL, which is as high as it gets, and then how many players did you have in that program versus you have in the St. Thomas program?
I actually have more players in our program here at St. Thomas than I did at Roxbury Latin. Different challenges. Roxbury Latin is, one of the premier academic prep schools in the country. And, it's one of the hardest schools to get into. So we had challenges on that front. We had a small roster. I think on our varsity team, we probably only had about 4 more kids on our varsity at Roxbury Latin than we do here. Our JV program here at St. Thomas is actually significantly larger than it was at Roxbury Latin. I think the big difference is, at those ISL schools, you're just kind of littered with Division I lacrosse players up and down your rosters. So it's a little bit, at Roxbury Latin, I might have had 25 kids, but those 25 kids were recruited to kind of come play lacrosse and be student athletes there. They were almost handpicked in a way. So it was, you've got a premier lacrosse player, kids that are phenomenal in the classroom, but, they have aspirations to go be, very high-end college lacrosse players as well. So just, a little bit of a different type of lacrosse experience overall.
Coach, how do you slow down a kid like Alex Ryan of Wyndham? We'll be there, by the way, on Friday and look forward to that broadcast. But how do you go about trying to slow down one of the best players in the state?
I think that's tough. We quite honestly haven't focused a lot on Wyndham yet. We've got 2 games prior to them. We've got Bow tomorrow, which has been our focus. We've got Oyster River for the second time on Wednesday, and then we have those guys on Friday. So we've got a heavy slate of games this week. We know we certainly have a great opponent on Friday, but we feel we have 2 fantastic opponents on Monday and Wednesday, and they're definitely the focus. So, I got to tell you, we haven't really focused on Wyndham yet, and we're focused on beating Bow tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, good luck against everybody this week, Coach, and we look forward to seeing you guys in action on Friday. Thanks for joining us for sure, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And again, Scott Singer, first-year head coach at St. Thomas. Got the Saints in that mix in Division II, Coach. And I think this week in general in D2 might tell us a little bit more as teams begin to spread out, so to speak, in the standings.
Yeah, so when we had Alex on, he mentioned exactly what you and I talked about before. There's just parity in that D2, and I think St. Thomas is kind of maybe just outside that
top tier. You think?
Top tier, but close. That score shocked me too. They beat Hollis like 16-1 or 16-0. Hollis must have some injuries or something's going on there because they have talent, but I would have thought them to be more competitive. So they're not in that mix right now. But St. Thomas seems like they have Anthony DiMartino, who's probably one of the better kids in the state. He mentioned him; he's a junior captain for him. But it sounds like they have a lot of developing to do of players. That's why I was curious to see the big difference. I knew there was a talent difference between ISL to St. Thomas and the New Hampshire Division II team. But as he said, you recruit for those ISL schools. That's their job. So they have to develop
which
there.
Of course is illegal, right?
Here it is. But down there,
right.
you can. So that's the big difference for him is he kind of has to take who he gets.
Right. All right. We'll switch gears. Coming up, hour number 2, JoJo Curro is going to meet us on the other side. She's got Portsmouth really as the torchbearers in Division II. They are going to test themselves against Bedford on Wednesday night. We will be there, by the way, at 6 o'clock for that start. Opening face-off, 6 o'clock Eastern, our pregame a few minutes before that. Again, that's coming up on Wednesday night. Clippers and Bulldogs. Coach Curro, Julian Bell of Bedford, both on the other side in hour number 2, plus some NCAA talk on the way as things heat up on the college front. You are watching FNL Lacrosse. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
We could have a new screen on that baby in less than 15 minutes. I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and convenient device repair shop. We use quality parts.
Backed by our lifetime warranty.
Can you fix my phone?
iPhones, iPads, even Androids and tablets.
We fix it all.
What kind of problems can you fix?
Battery problems, screen problems, water damage. Don't live with that broken device any longer. Come on into New Hampshire iPhone Repair and we'll have you fixed up in 15 minutes. Good as new.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Back here, hour number 2 on FNL Lacrosse. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Show flying by. That's when you know it's good. We already spoke with Matt Brewster, Alex Ryan, Scott Singer on the boys' side. We got Julian Bell coming up, the Bedford senior, on her way to Clemson, is our Tomahawk Player of the Week. But right now, let's bring in Portsmouth head coach JoJo Curro. The Clippers off to a great start in Division II. There she is. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thanks for getting up with us here. We appreciate it. Your club off to a good start. Had some tight games early, but they found a way to win. It looks like in the fourth quarter. And right now, your team is widely seen as perhaps the favorites in Division II. Is this the start you were hoping for?
Definitely. I think for our team, we wanted to come out strong and kind of wanted to prove that we are still here to compete and that we have a lot of skill, and we want to show that.
We had this conversation with other coaches over the first 3 weeks or so, on and off on this show, about the off season and how it's more involved than ever before, seemingly, for at least a lot of programs in the state. Is that the case with Portsmouth? Is more demanded from your players during the off season than maybe in years past?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I like to have a player who's an athlete, and I like to give their respective sports off of lacrosse season like their fair share of being that main sport. I definitely still offer off-ball opportunity or off-season opportunities. We do start usually like in the winter time, just doing a couple times a week, all not mandatory, just if they want a little extra reps. But I do always want to kind of foster that full athlete and to make sure that they're getting the experiences they can get with the other sports as well.
It's a fascinating debate, so to speak, at least in my mind, because I can see the pros and cons of both. How about this group, Coach? It seems like this group is obviously dedicated, is talented, and is ready to go, so to speak. Who are some of the players that you can identify for us when we see you guys take on Bedford on Wednesday?
That's a good question. I mean, we have 20 returning players from last year, so my bench is like pretty deep with experience now, and almost, in my opinion, like almost every single kid is a threat on our team. They all have remarkable speed, skill, lacrosse IQ, but there are like some players you could identify as like impact players. Absolutely. Mia Smith, one of our captains, Ophelia Seti, a captain, Maggie Parker, who's a captain, Arden Griffin, who's our goalie. And we have other players who are juniors and sophomores like Avery Runke, Charlotte Marston, Annie Parker, Sally Collins, just to name a few. I feel like I could keep going.
Well, that was my next question is that more of a challenge for you and your staff to try to find playing time, try to identify the proper roles for these players? It sounds like a nice problem to have, so to speak, a lot of depth, but it could bring its own set of challenges, right?
Yeah, I think for us, the girls definitely, they make it easier for us. You know, they will say, I will go wherever, I will play whenever, I will do whatever you want. You know, there isn't a lot of fighting against like, hey, you're midi, but I need you to play low D for a little bit. You know, they don't fight it. They will do whatever they can do for the team. And that is like the culture of like Portsmouth is we are a team and we do it for each other. We don't do it for ourselves.
Right. So a bunch of unselfish players that
yes,
understand
kind of
their roles,
unselfish.
right? That's kind of a coach's dream, I'd imagine. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You got Bedford coming up. Obviously, they're one of the premier programs in Division I. How much stock do you put into this game? Obviously, I think you want to challenge your girls, but how much are you invested in whatever the result might be one way or the other Wednesday night?
I think for us, we're just here to compete. That's how we take every game, is like we want to show. We always want to put our best foot forward, and we want to show what Portsmouth lacrosse is all about. So whatever the outcome, if we go out there and we play how we play, then I will be happy with either outcome of that game.
Well, is this seen as what I just said, kind of a big game to see what you've got here, how your team measures up, kind of a measuring stick game where your team maybe comes out of that with some confidence and facing the rest of the schedule? Is this one of those milestone type of games that you have circled on the schedule, or is it like Coach Singer and Coach Brewster said earlier, just next team in front of us, next team up, so to speak? I mean, how big of a game is this? Not that we're trying to hype up our own ratings or anything coming up, that we'll be there on Wednesday, but just give us an idea of how you're viewing this one coming up.
I think I definitely do take it one game at a time. We do have a game on Monday before that game on Wednesday. So I don't want to lose focus on what's next, but I do think this will be a big game. And I think it's also going to be a big mental game for our girls. They know that next year we are stepping up to Division I, and this is a big Division I team. So
I wasn't aware of that.
So we are moving up to Division I next year. So this kind of gives us a little bit of an understanding of kind of where we place in that Division I program.
Good for you. I think we know where you place. I think you'd be one of the top 3 teams in Division I with, I mean, that the talent that you mentioned lines up with the talent that BG has. You have a lot of depth, and it's going to be a great game to watch on Wednesday night. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, but I don't want to put too much pressure because, again,
one game
the mental game is huge. So I want to make sure that we come in with just being calm and easy and just being ready.
You've named a couple of players, Coach, from earlier, but what are some of the things you'd like to see your team accomplish Wednesday night? Just give me a couple things for us to watch for from up in the booth.
I think a big thing for us is our team defense, making sure everyone is on everyone's on the same page, and also our ride, when we redefend, our ride is pretty great, I would say. And we do make a lot of stops in that end, and I want to see that happen in these games coming up. And obviously just taking control of the ball when we're on attack and not forcing anything, really having that patience.
All right, Coach, good luck. We appreciate you coming on for sure.
Thank
good
you.
luck Wednesday. Good luck the rest of the season as well. And we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. That's JoJo Curro doing a great job on the Seacoast with the Portsmouth Clippers. And you heard it. They're coming up to D1 next season.
That's great. That's news to me. I mean, they belong there. I mean, she's got a great program, great coach.
Now, when that happens, does another D1 team have to go down?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's no set number or whatever.
There's no set, no. I think you have to petition up to do that, and I think that's what BG has to do every year based on enrollment, and they'll do just fine. Their boys team the boys team isn't as deep and as talented as the girls team, but they're very good, Coach Fisher's team. But they would be, I mean, it's going to be a great game. She said she has 20 players that have returning returning varsity experience. And the girls that she has, I mean, there's they have a Loyola commit, they have a UMass commit, a VCU commit, they have Colgate commit. So they have a
I didn't realize they were that loaded.
Oh, they're loaded.
Wow.
They're loaded. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Wow. All right, we'll take a break. Come back with Julian Bell. She's going to be going up against those Portsmouth players, trying to lead Bedford on her home field Wednesday night. Again, we'll be there, by the way, coming up Wednesday at 6 local time is the opening face-off. We'll be on the air at about 5:45 or so. Julian Bell next. You're watching Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Well, I guess you're watching the channel. How about the show, FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Back in a minute.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
You know, we could have a new screen on that baby in less than 15 minutes. I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and convenient device repair shop. We use quality parts.
Backed by our lifetime warranty.
Can you fix my phone?
iPhones, iPads, even Androids and tablets.
We fix it all!
What kind of problems can you fix?
Battery problems, screen problems, water damage. Don't live with that broken device any longer. Come on into New Hampshire iPhone Repair and we'll have you fixed up in 15 minutes. Good as new.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
All right, back here for our final segment. We'll bring in Julian Bell for a moment. We'll talk NCAA with Coach Cameron as well. We want to thank Matt Brewster, Alex Ryan, Scott Singer, and JoJo Curro for coming on. Want to remind you, we've got a busy week coming up here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Exeter at BG, big D1 showdown on the boys' side. Live from Nashua. We'll be at Stello Stadium for that 4 o'clock start on Tuesday. Then we see two of the best programs on the girls' side in the state. Just talked to JoJo Curro of Portsmouth, trying to gear up the Clippers to take on the Bulldogs. That game in Bedford Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern. We'll be on the air at about 5:45. Then we round out the week with St. Thomas. Coach Singer bringing his Saints down to Wyndham to take on Alex Ryan and the Jaguars. That's Friday at 4. And again, it's all part of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. All right, let's bring in our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week on the girls' side. It is Bedford senior Julian Bell joining us live here. There she is. Good morning, Julian. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Well, we're good. We spoke last season, and as a junior, you had made the decision at the time to go to Navy. You now have switched things up and are on your way to Clemson in the fall, although you're apparently still wearing the Navy apparel.
What are you wearing, Julie? Are you making an announcement right now?
No, don't worry. I still got to support it. But, yeah, that was a huge switch. I mean, it was definitely very, very stressful. I mean, I didn't want to make a harsh decision way too fast, too. I kind of thought about it for a couple months. And throughout the season, you know, I kind of settled into reality a little bit, and I just realized I didn't really want the military as much as I thought I did. And, I mean, at that point, I was also going through a little bit of an injury, and I was just a little bit worried about that. So then I started poking around throughout the summer. I ended up decommitting in July, I think, like mid-July, which is really, really late. So that's another thing that was really stressful is how late I decommitted was like that September is when they were recruiting all the juniors at that point.
Mm.
So I emailed like 15 schools just to see what I could get. And, a lot of the coaches that I had interest from before, they were like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, we don't have enough space. We can't give any more money to people. And then I think it was June, the Clemson announced their team, but they hadn't announced the coach yet. So I emailed the email that they set out, like when they announced the coach, that they will be able to see all the emails going through. So, when they announced the coach, I jumped right on that, and I even DM'd her. I did everything I could to get her attention, and I got on the phone with her. I think it was early August or something like that, and then she invited me down for a visit around the 17th or so. And then things just kind of went off from there. She called me a week after that and offered me. So it was a really quick but stressful switch. But yeah, I'm grateful for both opportunities that I had. So
well, all's well that ends well, right? It seems like you're now on your way to a place that looks like a fun place to play down there at Clemson. And as you said, you've got kind of a rapport already, it sounds like, with the head coach, right?
Yes, she's the sweetest person ever. I love her, and she's very easy to talk to. She has like the same like mindset. She's very relaxed going into it, but she has lots of expectations for us. And I'm just really excited to see like how she approaches like being a head coach in an ACC, like brand new team. And with the other girls, I think we have 8 recruits, and then there's tons of recruits in the junior class. They're all amazing, I hear. And we know a couple fifth years that'll be coming in, but I haven't met any of those girls. But yeah, I'm really excited to see like what happens in the fall. And I'm going early. I'm going in June. June 24th is when I leave.
Oh, wow.
They offer a summer program where you can get 2 credits done, you can train, and I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to leave right away. So
it sounds like it. Well, take me back here the last couple of years. Of course, your sophomore season was canceled due to the COVID-19 situation. And then, as you mentioned, last year as a junior, you had to deal with an injury. How big of a relief has it been to get back on the field with your teammates here to start the season, your last go-around as a Bedford Bulldog as a senior?
Yeah, I mean, the COVID year was definitely hard. I mean, I think I mentioned this last year, but that was my sister's senior year, so we missed out on that last season together. But then last year, none of the sophomores had their freshman year under their belt, so it was like a team full of freshmen coming in, and then I was the only returning varsity player, so that was definitely tough. But, I mean, they all adjusted so fast, and 2 of them so far are committed. So Regan O'Brien, UPenn, and then Sydney Grogan to Yale. So, I mean, they're workaholics. So having them, like, this year, too, Sydney is a junior captain, and Regan is not a captain, but she's an amazing leader as well. Regan and I work a lot on the offensive end, and, Sydney's in the midfield and the defense. So having them as, like, pretty much co-captains are amazing, and they have such great leadership, and I'm so excited to finish off the rest of the season with them.
Good. So we're I was going to talk about the recruiting part of things, but we covered that already. So we were down at Bryant yesterday, but Chamberlain and the Bryant women's team were on the road, so we unfortunately get to see them play, but she's having a fantastic season. So FNL, we're broadcasting the game. I hope we're doing the Bedford. I'm sure we're going to be doing the Bedford BG game in 2 weeks.
On the 12th?
Yeah, on the 12th. Yep. Yeah, so we're doing that. But first we have the Portsmouth. So Portsmouth from the indoor season all year, where Bedford and Portsmouth would match up, and their talent level. So what's that game look like to you coming in on Wednesday?
I mean, for us, we really try to focus on like treating every game like it's our best competition, and playing our game is really important. I actually watched the Portsmouth coach just a few minutes ago, and it's funny because we really have like the same goals, sticking to our own game, and taking our defense is really strong. They've gotten a lot better. Taking those risks that they're capable of, and then making sure we have that backup, because that's just as important. But yeah, it's an exciting game. I'm really excited to go up against like all these underclassmen that are, going to great schools, and they do have a ton of threats. I feel like every single person on that team has a huge role. And, you know, it's similar to us. We don't have a lot of depth, but everyone on the field has like their job. And I feel like the matchup is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it for sure. Take me into the mind of a high school senior at this time of the year. May now, officially, May the 1st. You've got a busy, it sounds like, next 5 or 6, or in your case, really, next 2 months, right? With the end of the season as a student athlete, then you've got prom on the social front, graduation, of course, after that, and then you're heading south, right? Is this kind of a whirlwind time of the schedule, or is it as exciting and you're pumped up about it, given that there's so many milestones back to back to back over the next 8 or so weeks?
I'm extremely excited for every step of the way. I'm excited to play Portsmouth. That's a huge game for us. I'm excited to play BG. I'm excited for the semifinals and hopefully the championship. You know, it kind of stinks because my graduation is the day of the semifinal game.
Really?
So that's going to be tough.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah.
graduate and I got a final game.
Jeez.
So that's going to be a little tough. But I'm super excited, and you know, leaving early. You know, that was an optional thing for us, and there's 4 of us that are going to end up doing it, and I really cannot be more excited about it. I mean, it's probably 80-20. I'm really excited, 80%, and then 20% like nervous for it. But I mean, it's all up here from here.
How do the football season tickets go? Do you have yours lined up, or do you have to camp outside like you do at?
I really have not even thought about that yet.
No, I could see you going. I could see you going all the games. That's why you wanted that big school for.
I know. Hopefully, I really haven't even thought about that. But yeah, hopefully I get to a bunch
You
of.
better look into it. I know at Michigan, you gotta get those tickets early. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
that's
how
right.
it works at Clemson, but
I'm sure it's the same thing.
it's a great
right?
scene there. And then for women's lacrosse, the head coach came from Richmond, and you know it's amazing on the women's side how quickly, like, Pitt was a first-year team, and they're competing in the ACC. So, you know, you're going to have an opportunity not only to compete for playing time, but to compete at a high level. You know, it's not like it's these first-year programs that struggle. They compete, you know. So
they do.
Really
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
18-year-olds and then, like, 22. So then we got to fill in all those spots in between. But, yeah, we've got some really great girls coming in, so I'm excited for it.
It sounds like exciting is the word of the day for sure with your schedule and your immediate future. It sounds exciting. All right, Julian, we appreciate the time. Good luck Wednesday. Good luck the rest of the way. And we appreciate you coming on here for the second time on FNL Lacrosse. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Again, Julian Bell, our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week. Clemson getting good player. Obviously, Bedford has had a good player there, and, well, you can see why the program is as successful as they have been under Coach Hodgson. It's because of, at least in part, of players like Julian Bell, right?
Yeah, so she's battled through the injury, so it sounds like she's healthy. I haven't seen them play, so they have, like, high-end talent. They have, like, but they don't have the depth that Portsmouth has.
You've said that before, right?
So, you know, Christine's going to have to, you know, control the tempo a little bit. It looks like from their scores, they're not blowing teams out, but they're not giving up a lot of goals. So it seems like they're just playing a possession-style game, which is what they're going to have to do to beat a Portsmouth or to beat a BG. But we'll see. We'll see.
Will Portsmouth try to go up tempo?
Portsmouth likes to play.
Is it a battle of tempos?
Yeah, you
Wednesday?
could see like they like to ride, get the ball back, and play fast. Not seeing Portsmouth, I don't know, but looking at their scores, I think they like to get up and down and play. So, you know, that's you know, it's contrast of styles. Absolutely,
It'll be fun either way. Coach and I will be on the call coming up Wednesday night. Again, that's 6:00. Portsmouth at Bedford on the girls' side. Part of a big week for us. On Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, we got Exeter and BG on the boys' side, setting the table. Always a heavyweight fight year in and year out. We're live from Stello Stadium at 4:00. And then we round out the week in Division II on the boys' side. St. Thomas at Wyndham Friday at 4. All right, let's change gears, Coach. NCAA talk. I'll let you have the floor here. Set the scene. We'll start with Division I in the NCAA. We can get to D2 and the local stuff in a moment, but give me the national scene here as we get ready for the NCAA tournament.
So the national scene next Sunday, 5/8, the committee, the NCAA announces.
That's the selection show.
The selection show,
Yep.
yes. So you have conference tournaments starting Thursday, like some of them are Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. So the Big Ten championship, Rutgers is the 2 seed. They're going to face Ohio State. I think both of those teams are pretty safe. The committee came out with and they announced the seedings. Rutgers was 5, and Ohio State was 10. And Maryland is just probably the most dominant team we've seen since the Virginia team of 2006. They're just, so someone, is going to have to catch them on a bad day.
Is this a good year for the Big Ten?
The Big Ten has 3 high-level teams, and then because Ohio State's had some really big wins, but then Hopkins, Penn State, and Michigan kind of drop off. So it's not as deep.
But top-heavy.
But top-heavy, yes. So that's that. The Ivy is the opposite. They're deep, not top-heavy. Princeton did not make the Ivy League tournament, and they are like their RPI has them as the 2 seed. So I mean that's how deep they're the 5th team.
Wow.
But they might be the 1 seed coming into that tournament. So the Ivy tournament is Friday. It's going to be at Brown. I was at the Brown. We have Andrew Geppert, who's been a friend of the program from Dover.
Yep.
Colby Gendron, who's a Bedford kid, is on that team. Princeton beat him 17-8. I mean, it wasn't even a game.
Right.
Maybe for a little bit it was close. Now Brown has run the table, and where they're hosting the Ivy League tournament. So it's Brown versus Penn, and the 1-4 and 2-3 is Yale versus Cornell.
Wow.
So
they kind of turned it on after that loss.
And then the ACC is interesting. Last year the ACC sent 5 teams. Part of that was because there was no Ivy. So they're going to there was talk of maybe getting 6, but with Harvard losing yesterday to Yale, I don't think they're going to get that 6 team in.
6 teams, that sounds
because
too many.
There's 10 automatic qualifiers, and then there's 8 at large. And 3 at large, 4 at large are going to be from the Ivy, 2 from the Big Ten is 6, and then 2 probably from the ACC, which is Virginia's a lock. They're going to be like a 7 seed. And then Duke plays North Carolina. Duke's going to have to win out. They got to beat They pounded North Carolina about 3 weeks ago, like 15-5.
And North Carolina's down this year.
They're down a little bit, but they can still be a spoiler for Duke. So Duke needs to beat Carolina, and then they have to win at Notre Dame to get in. And Notre Dame has to beat Syracuse today, and beat Duke next week. So one of those 2 teams will be an eliminate. It'll be
Today's the final day of the regular season.
But the Ivy doesn't have a tournament, so the Ivy has regular season games next week.
Okay.
So that's kind of how the I'm trying to think of any local teams. Oh, UVM is hosting. They're the favorite to win.
East,
they're the favorite to win their conference. And that's really it from BU. BU is the 1 seed in the Patriot League.
Okay.
So they've had a great year. They're only 3 losses. Well, no, they did just lose to I think they lost to Army. So they have 3 losses to Ivy teams and then Army. On the Division II side, we talked a little bit about Bentley going down to Adelphi, which is great.
They're having a great year, and it just keeps going.
And then
they started 4-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a hot school. Coach Murphy does a great job, and then you have St. Anselm. The Hawks, who you're the voice of the Hawks.
They flexed their muscles yesterday.
They did, and they seem like when I was listening to the show driving back, when I stopped at Rensselaer Field to be on the call, he talked about how that Franklin Pierce loss really kind of
woke them up
and turned things around. And you could see, I mean, that was a beatdown yesterday to a very good Coach Calkins Southern New Hampshire team. So, because Bentley played, Southern New Hampshire really tight.
Shootout, 16-14 was that final. Yeah.
So then on the Division III side, the local Riviere, Coach Delanoy, is doing an unbelievable job with that program. They've had 4 of the last 6 roughly overtime games, and they advanced yesterday in overtime. Chris Heitmiller got the assist. He's a Nashua kid, BG, and then a Salem player, I should know his name, got the winner. So they play at LaSalle that'll be the semifinals of their conference. So they're certainly moving in the right direction. And Keene's always in the mix too at the Division III. They think they pounded Plymouth yesterday, but they're certainly in the mix. So tournaments coming up next weekend, selection show next Sunday, and then the 2021 they went neutral sites for the first round, but this year Division I is back. The top 8 seeds host a playoff game. So I'm hoping that.
Which is the way it should.
I'm hoping for me, I got a Rutgers, Princeton, like a 12 and a 5:30 on the same day. Even if I have a Saturday, Sunday, it'll be good. So
well,
we're looking forward to that.
Right, exactly.
They should be. Both of those teams should be hosting. Yes. So.
Yeah, that would be the ideal situation for sure. Yes. And in terms of the St. Anselm Hawks, they're going to be on the road at Lemoyne Wednesday, and that I think is the 4th time those two teams have met in the last, let's say, 13 months. Right? They played in the – maybe not that. It might be more like a full calendar year. They met in the conference championship game last year. Lemoyne won. Then they met again in the national national Elite Eight, the quarterfinals. Lemoyne won there on their way to the Dolphins winning the title. Then they met this season in the regular season last month. That was a 7-5 Dolphin win. And now here we go with another rematch. So really it's the 4th time in the last 12 months.
Yeah, the Dolphins are very beatable this year. And, Kyle Fisher, who's a Nashua BG kid, and John Holland, who's a Pinkerton kid, are standing out for that defense right there. So it's great to see local guys doing so well in the national scene.
Yeah. All right. Coach, another good show. Welcome you back into the chair after being on the road. We're going to have, I think, Eric Coburn here next week, right?
I could possibly be here based on the timing of the Big Ten championship.
We'll see what happens.
Hopefully Rutgers gets there, but at least I'll be able to call in at the very least. But
right.
but Eric Coburn is ready to. He will be in studio too. It's just a matter of it's the third.
We'll check in with you for sure, and we wish you good luck against Exeter on Tuesday as well.
Exeter Tuesday and at BC High on Thursday.
And at BC High.
Exciting week.
Big week for the Cardinals for sure. Want to thank Matt Brewster, speaking of Exeter, first-year coach of the Blue Hawks, for joining us early on in the show. Alex Ryan of Wyndham, the senior, headed to Bentley next season. We'll see him in the Jaguars later this week as well. Taking on Scott Singer, St. Thomas. We appreciate that first-year head coach for coming on. And, of course, JoJo Curro of Portsmouth, Julian Bell of Bedford. We appreciate them. Final time, final schedule. Exeter at BG coming up on Tuesday. We're at Stello Stadium for that 4 o'clock start. Wednesday night, our friend Corey Parker welcomes us into Bulldog Stadium as Bedford plays host to Portsmouth on the girls' side. And then Friday, St. Thomas at Wyndham. That is a 4 o'clock afternoon start. Again, it's all brought to you by Beals Insurance. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week. All right, for our producer, the director, the man behind the curtain, that's Ben Beals, doing a great job again with that highlight video to open up the show. As usual, making sure the guests are ready to go. We appreciate Ben's work behind the scenes. Coach Cameron, to my right, we appreciate him back in the saddle. My name is Nick Anastas saying so long. This has been FNL Lacrosse presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.